Happiness isn't something life hands out fairly. It's something you defend every day. Most people think it arrives when things calm down, but life rarely does. It stays noisy, unpredictable, unfinished. I once knew someone who got the promotion they wanted and still felt empty the next morning. Nothing changed inside. That's the truth most people avoid. Peace doesn't come from better conditions. It comes from stronger decisions. Happiness is not a mood you wait for. It's a position you take. And once you see that clearly, everything shifts. Because now the question isn't, when will I feel better? It's, will I choose better today? Most people treat happiness like the weather. If the day goes well, they feel good. If not, they collapse into it. But real life doesn't follow your expectations. Deadlines pile up, plans fail, people disappoint. A friend of mine runs a small business. Some days he loses money before noon. Still, he shows up calm, focused, not because he feels like it, but because he decided long ago how he would respond. That's the shift. You don't control what hits you. You control how long it stays. Happiness is not reactive. It's chosen, especially when it's inconvenient. And that choice begins the moment you open your eyes in the morning. Here are 15 principles to train yourself to be happy every single day. Principle 1. Start your day with intention. Your morning is not just a routine, it's a direction. The first few minutes quietly shape everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately check messages, news, notifications, other people's priorities, and just like that, their mind is no longer theirs. I used to do the same. Until one morning, I sat still for 2 minutes before touching my phone. Nothing dramatic, just breathing, and the entire day felt steadier. That's when it clicked. If you don't choose your focus, it will be chosen for you. You don't need a perfect ritual, just a moment of ownership, because how you begin decides how you carry yourself into everything else. Principle 2. Push yourself when it's hard. There's a quiet moment most people ignore. When you're tired, unfocused, ready to quit early. That moment doesn't look important, but it is. I remember a night I didn't want to work, no energy, no clarity. I told myself, just 10 minutes. I started anyway. An hour later, the work was done. Not because I felt better, but because I moved first. That's the edge. Strength is built in the moments no one sees. Easy days don't shape you, resistance does. Every time you push through, you rewrite your standard. And once you raise that standard, your mindset starts to follow. Principle 3. Act first, feel later. We've been taught the wrong order. Feel good, then act. But real life works the opposite way. A guy I know started running every morning, not because he loved it, he hated it at first. But after a few weeks, something changed. The discipline came first, the confidence came after. That's the pattern. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You don't wait for motivation, you build it. Feelings are unstable, they shift constantly. But action is a decision. And once you learn to move without permission from your emotions, you stop being controlled by them. That's where real power begins. Principle 4. Control your focus. Your focus is your reality filter. What you choose to look at quietly shapes how you feel. Most people don't notice this. They replay problems, scroll negativity, revisit old frustrations, then wonder why their mood sinks. I once caught myself thinking about one bad comment all day, ignoring 10 good ones. That single focus ruined hours. Here's the shift. Your mind grows where your attention goes. You don't find peace, you aim at it. Focus is not automatic, it's trained. And once you learn to redirect it, you stop feeding what weakens you and start building what strengthens you. Principle 5. Feed your mind. Your mind is always consuming. The only question is, are you feeding it strength or noise? Most people are careful with food, but careless with content. Hours of scrolling, endless distraction, and slowly their clarity fades. I remember replacing 20 minutes of social media with a podcast during my commute. Same time, but different input. Within weeks, my thinking changed. That's the hidden truth. What you consume becomes how you think. Mental junk creates emotional chaos. You don't need more time, just better input. Because what you feed your mind today becomes the voice you hear tomorrow. Principle 6. Gratitude as survival. Gratitude isn't soft, it's survival. Not because life is easy, but because it isn't. When things go wrong, your mind scans for more problems. It builds a loop, and if you don't interrupt it, it pulls you down. One evening, after a stressful day, I paused and named 3 small things that went right. Nothing big, but it shifted everything. That's the power. Gratitude doesn't deny pain, it puts it in perspective. You don't need a perfect life to find something worth holding on to. It grounds you. And once you're grounded, you can face the next moment with more control. Principle 7. Habits shape emotions. Your mood isn't random, it's built. Quietly, daily, through what you do or don't do. Skip sleep, stay indoors, live on caffeine, and your mind starts to drift. Not because life is worse, but because your system is off. I once worked non-stop for days, no breaks, no movement. By the 3rd day, everything felt heavier than it was. That's the realization. How you live shapes how you feel. Discipline stabilizes emotion. You don't fix your mood by thinking harder. You fix it by living better. And when your habits support you, your mind finally has space to breathe. Principle 8. Your peace is your responsibility. No one will guard your peace for you. Not intentionally, not consistently. People bring stress, opinions, demands, and if you're not careful, you carry all of it. I once kept replying to messages late at night, even when exhausted. Not urgent, but I felt obligated. The result? Restless mind, no real peace. Then I stopped. That's when it became clear. What you allow continues. Peace requires boundaries, not permission. It's not about shutting people out. It's about protecting what matters inside. Because if you don't choose what enters your mind, you'll end up carrying what was never yours. Principle 9. Train your thinking. Your thoughts are not facts, they're patterns. And patterns can be trained. Most people believe whatever shows up in their mind. Doubt, fear, self-criticism. They accept it as truth without question. I once caught myself thinking, I always mess this up. It felt real until I asked, always? That one question broke the illusion. Here's the shift. Not every thought deserves your trust. Clarity begins when you challenge your mind. Thinking is a skill, not a default. And when you learn to reshape it, you stop being controlled by old patterns and start creating new ones. Principle 10. Stop chasing feelings, build systems. Feelings are unreliable, systems are not. If you depend on motivation, you'll move only when it's easy. Most people wait to feel ready, but readiness is rare and inconsistent. I knew someone who wrote 1 page every morning, no matter the mood. Some days it was terrible, but months later, they had a book. That's the difference. Systems create progress when feelings disappear. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need perfect energy, you need structure. Because once your actions become automatic, you don't need to convince yourself to start. You just begin. Principle 11. Refuse to be a victim. Life isn't always fair, that's real. But staying in that story keeps you stuck. Pain happens, but identity is a choice. I remember someone who got rejected from multiple jobs. At first, they blamed everything: luck, people, timing. Then one day, they changed approach, learned new skills, and things shifted. That moment matters. You can acknowledge pain without living inside it. Your past explains you. It doesn't define you. Victimhood feels justified, but it costs you control. And once you take responsibility, you reclaim the power to move forward. Principle 12. Hard days are the real test. Easy days don't ask much from you. Hard days reveal everything. When you're tired, distracted, low energy, that's when your standards are tested. I once had a day where nothing worked. Delays, mistakes, frustration. I almost shut everything down, but I finished one small task anyway. That was enough to shift momentum. That's the truth. Your character shows up when comfort disappears. Hard days are not interruptions. They are training. Growth doesn't happen when it's convenient. It happens when you continue, even when stopping feels easier. Principle 13. Joy comes from within. Joy is not something you chase. It's something you align with. External wins can excite you, but they don't sustain you. Most people think the next achievement will fix how they feel, but it rarely does. I remember buying something I really wanted. It felt good for a day. Then everything returned to normal. That's the realization. Pleasure comes from outside. Joy is built inside. If you don't create it now, you won't find it later. Joy comes from how you live, not what you have. And once you understand that, you stop chasing more and start becoming enough. Principle 14. Simplicity equals power. Life feels heavy because it's overloaded. Too many goals, too many inputs, too many expectations that aren't even yours. Simplicity isn't doing less. It's removing what doesn't matter. I once cleared half my daily tasks, kept only 3 that truly moved things forward. The day felt lighter, not empty-focused. That's when it clicked. Clarity creates energy. Clutter drains it. You don't need more time, you need less noise. Power comes from direction, not volume. And when you simplify your life, you create space for something most people never reach: real presence. Principle 15. End your day with gratitude. How you end the day quietly shapes how you live the next one. Most people go to sleep replaying what went wrong. That pattern builds tension, night after night. I used to do the same, thinking about unfinished work. Then I started noting one thing I handled well each day, small but real. Sleep changed. Here's the shift. What you repeat at night becomes your mindset in the morning. Gratitude closes the day with peace, not pressure. It's not about ignoring flaws, it's about balance. And when your mind learns to rest, you wake up with strength already waiting. Happiness is not something you find, it's something you build. Quietly, repeatedly, in the way you think, act, and respond. Most people wait for life to improve before they allow themselves to feel better. But that day keeps moving further away. I remember a time when nothing felt aligned. Still, I chose small actions, showing up, staying consistent. Slowly, things shifted. Not outside first, but inside. That's the truth. You don't wait for a better life. You become better within it. Happiness is built in ordinary days. So don't chase the feeling, build the habit. And let that be where everything begins.